King Xerxes ruled a huge empire from India to Sudan. His capital city was Susa, in the country we call Iran. Xerxes loved to put on a show displaying his power and might. He threw week-long parties, gave out costly gifts, so no one would think he was tight. Only men were invited to his feasts. Xerxes showed off his new purple gown. But when they were bored, he sent for the queen and commanded she model the crown. "Am I an object," Vashti cried, "to be exhibited thus?" Her defiance of the king caused an almighty fuss. All the men were horrified, and to Xerxes did complain, "Get rid of her and do it quick, before our wives do the same." Then his mates suggested, "Round up young girls, the most beautiful ever seen. Parade them before you, choose the best, and make her your queen." Years before, God's people, the Jews, had been exiled and now lived in Susa. Mordecai advised Esther to hide her race so that nobody would abuse her. Esther's beauty stunned the king. He chose her as his wife and promoted her cousin Mordecai for both a new way of life. Assassins planned to kill the king. Esther's cousin thwarted their plot. The guilty were caught. Xerxes honoured his mates, but Mordecai he forgot. A new prime minister was announced. Haman hated the Jews with a passion. People were ordered to kneel as he passed. Mordecai would not bow in that fashion. Haman reported back to the king, "These Jews don't follow our rules. On my lucky day, let them be killed, and I will pay for the tools. Let it be a decree that can never be changed, a law of the Persians and Medes." Happy for Haman to stump up the funds, gullible Xerxes agreed. Mordecai contacted the queen. "You must go to the king," he said. "I can't," replied Esther. "Unless he invites me, the guards will strike me dead." "It's the reason you're here," said her cousin, "to save the people you cherish. For 3 days fast and pray with me, and if I perish, I perish." Esther approached the guards on the door. They drew their swords in warning. Lord Xerxes was pleased to see her there and immediately stopped yawning. He asked, "What is it you want, my turtle dove? It's yours up to half of my kingdom." "Please come for a feast tonight in my rooms and bring your Prime Minister, Haman." Haman was smug. What a wonderful feast! Only him, the king and the queen. Xerxes guessed there was more and asked his dear wife, "What does all of this mean? What is it you want, my turtle dove? It's yours up to half of my kingdom." "I want you to do this all over again, tomorrow, with Prime Minister Haman." As Haman walked home, His heart swelled with pride until he saw Mordecai. He'd not wait for the law to come into force. "Tomorrow that Jew must die." All night Haman planned, then just before dawn woke his servants and told them to build a really tall gallows on which Mordecai, that ghastly Jew, shall be killed. The court had not slept either that night. The king had tossed and turned, no music soothed, counting sheep didn't help. His servants were very concerned. "Fetch the Chronicles," one of them said. "That'll make him drop off really soon." So they read all he'd done since he became king, but to sleep he was immune. By morning they'd reached the terrible plot uncovered by Esther's cousin. The scroll was rolled up. "But wait," cried the king. "What reward was Mordecai given?" "Nothing was done," the scribe replied. The king was really distraught. "We must right this wrong, and straight away. Bring in whoever's in court." Just at that moment, Haman arrived, his mind full of Mordecai's murder. The king called Haman into his room and greeted him with fervour. "What should be done," Xerxes asked, "for the man I wish to favour?" Remembering last night, Haman thought, "It must be me. The king wants to honour my labour." He said, "A top official should dress the man in your gorgeous purple gown. Then set him astride your favourite horse and lead him throughout the town. The official shouts as they go along, 'See how the king rewards the man in whom the king delights.' Then everyone watching applauds." "Brilliant," said Xerxes. "Now, go and do exactly what you said. For Mordecai, don't leave anything out. Oh, and put this fine hat on his head." Proud Haman, he was horrified, but he couldn't get out of the mess. While shouting the praises of Mordecai, his hatred he had to suppress. He spent the whole day in the city, then rushed home sweating and tired, just as escorts arrived to take him to the feast. Their timing was inspired. Again the food was delicious. Esther looked particularly winsome. "What is it you want, my turtle dove? It's yours, up to half of my kingdom." "I want to live," replied Esther. "Not just me, but all of my folk." "And who wants you dead?" inquired Xerxes. "This must be some horrible joke." "It's him," she said, pointing at Haman. "He plans to kill all of us Jews." The king was so shocked, he went out of the room to get his head round the news. Haman was stunned. He rushed towards Esther, intending to beg her forgiveness. But he tripped, knocked her down, as the king came back in just in time for Xerxes to witness the Prime Minister falling on top of the Queen. "You'd assault her right here in the palace?" Xerxes called in the guards whilst weighing the ways to end the Prime Minister's malice. Guards threw a tablecloth o'er Haman's head, speculating on his execution. When they talked of the gallows that Haman had built, Xerxes cried, "That's the perfect solution." Haman was hanged 22 meters high, but that still wouldn't stop the planned slaughter. The 13th of Adar was the date set. Anti-Semites would give no quarter. Xerxes racked his brain, wondering how to save the Jews who lived in his land. By the law of the Medes and the Persians, all regulations had to stand. Esther suggested, "Make a new law that we ourselves can defend." So that's what was done, and after Purim, God's people found peace. The end.